Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world, and welcome to this card which I'm going to be showing you a technique which is a resist technique, and I'm showcasing 3 of the products from the Snowflake showcase. And these are products that are only going to be available for the month of November 2018 or until stocks last. So if they sell out sooner, we won't have access to them again. But the 3 that I'm going to share is the Snow is Glistening stamp set, and the snowflake trinkets, and as you can see, I've only got one left until my next supply arrives. And then finally the white velvet sheet. So if you pick it up and touch it, it's kind of got a little fuzzy surface to it, and it really is really special and pretty. Okay, so we're going to make a start. Just get all that out of the way. So I am going to be working with the white glossy paper, and this piece is 5 by, I think it's 3 1/4, and I'm gonna be working on a piece of paper to protect my work surface, and I'm going to use the big Christmas tree, the falling snowflake, and then there's a little one here that is a tree trunk. And the other product that we're going to be using is the shimmer paint, or shimmer ink, whichever way you'd like to call it. I've chosen to use the frost white one. It is available in 3 other colors: gold, bronze, and then I can't remember the fourth one. So you'll need to give it a shake, and you'll also need a sponge dauber, and we're going to use the ink from the cap, and I'm just going to gently dab ink all over my stamp. And this little dauber picks up a lot more than you would think. I'm trying to be quick so that I don't use a lot of video time on this. If you just hold it in the light, you can actually see where you have got blank patches in the ink, and that looks as though it's working well. And if I want to re-ink again, I can just shake up. You don't, whatever you do, try and take it out of the bottle, because it'll swamp you, and I learnt that from bitter experience. Okay, so then straight onto my glossy paper, and I'm going to put it roughly in the middle, pressing very firmly to make sure I get a good transfer of ink. Of course, you could use your Stamparatus for this one, and then just gently peel it off. Ooh. And I can see, I don't know if you can, but we can just see we've got that transfer of ink there. Then I'm just going to put in my little tree trunk, and then I've got my little snowflakes. So again, just putting some ink on the top there, those snowflakes, and I'm going to put some to one side of my Christmas tree, and some on the other. Now you will want to let that sit and dry for a few moments. It doesn't take ever so long, but you certainly don't want to start using it straight away. So I'm going to pop that one to one side and let that dry. I have already got one started. Here it is. This one is all nice and dry and beautiful there. So then we're going to take a sponge brayer, and I'm using here Night of Navy ink. Let's clear myself a space. And I'm going to be loading up ink, and you want to be running this like this. I'm just kind of running it and turning it round. If you just do it back and forth, you're just going to get ink on one side and that won't work at all. And then starting, I'm just going to transfer my ink, and I'm just going to build up some colour. And this colour can be as dark or as light as you want it to be. The ones I've done so far, I got so enthusiastic with the ink that they're quite dark. It's whatever works for you. So I'm going to go from this direction. And you can see that the stamped image is now working its way and becoming really clear. And this is going to make a really stunning Christmas card. So there we go. I think I'm good with that now. I think I'm happy with that. So the next thing, or the last thing for this piece of paper, is I'm just going to take a piece of cloth. Now this looks pretty grubby, but it's going to do the job I want it to do. You can use tissue, kitchen paper, towel, but this is work for me. And I'm just going to gently polish off the excess ink that's on my stamped image, and that will just make it pop a little more, just like that. So we're really happy with that now. Yes, so I am going to use some snail, and I've cut myself a piece of the velvet card, velvet white card. You get 2 sheets 12 by 12 in the packet, and I'm just going to use a little bit of snail to attach it onto that piece onto there. And then with my dimensionals, I'm going to put 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. And then I have my card base, which is Night of Navy, and this is 11 by 4 1/4. And just going to put my score in halfway along, and then attach my decorative piece here. I'm going to do it just to one side like that. And then one of the stamps says joy. So what I've done is I've stamped that, punched it out with the 1 1/8 scallop punch, layered it onto 1 1/4 Night of Navy, and then I've cut a piece of the velvet paper, the white velvet paper, with the 1 3/8 scallop circle, and just attached it all together with snail. And then I'm going to add this to one side of here so that it's half on this piece. So I'm going to put my dimensional there, and I'm going to put a little snail on this side of my embellishment, and then I'm going to have it half on, half off. And then with my absolute final snowflake and trinket, I'm going to use a glue dot to hold that in place, and I'm just going to pop it down here. Now, because this is a dark base card, I'm going to put a piece of card in the middle, and I've already pre-stamped my my snowflakes. These are the snowflakes that in the same set, and the greeting in this set is lovely. There's a lovely one here. It's called Merry Christmas to You and Peace on Earth to All the World. And I'm just going to use my Stamparatus to attach that or to stamp that. I'm just putting a little ink on there, and I've already lined this up so my greeting will be perfectly straight and in the center of my piece of card. Lovely. And then I'm going to use a little bit of snail. Now normally I use liquid glue, but I discovered that with the glossy paper and liquid glue, it kind of leaves a little mark, and I'll show you on my original. This, I don't know if you can see, there's a line here, and that's where the liquid glue was. And so I decided on this card with the glossy paper I wouldn't use the liquid glue anymore for this one, and so that's why I'm using snail. As I say, unusual for me to do that. And then we have the envelope, which I've decorated with the snowflake. So there we go, a really pretty card, a lovely technique, and I'd like to thank Dawn Griffin for her inspiration on that technique. As I said, the stamp set and the trinkets and the velvet paper are available in November of 2018 only. So if you follow the link below this email, it will take you to my blog, which will give you the details on all the dimensions, and also we'll have a link to my online store where you can go ahead and choose your supplies. Well, thank you for spending time with me. I certainly appreciate it and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.